So what I'm going to be talking about today is I'm going to be talking about the cycle of violence. The first step in for the cycle of violence would be the incident. The incident would be any type of abuse, whether it be physical, sexual, emotional. Any type of abuse is the incident. The next step would be the tension building. Now, the tension building is when the abuser starts to get angry, then the abuse begins. There's a breakdown in communication. The victim feels like they need to keep the abuser calm. The victim's trying to control the situation. The tension just becomes too much, and the victim feels like they're walking on eggshells. Like anything that they do can be the moment where something happens. And once the abuse happens, there's really nothing that you can do to take it back. So the next phase that you go through is the makeup phase, where the abuser apologizes for what they did, promises to you that they will never do it again, and then they blame the victim for what happened. They say, if you didn't do this, then I would have never done that. And then that goes into the victim saying what happened, and the abuser will go and say, oh, she's exaggerating. It was nothing. I didn't hit her that hard. It's just she ran into the wall before anyways, so it was just a little, just a little tap. And then after that goes into the calm phase, where the abuser acts like they didn't do anything at all. They act like it was something else, like it was just a mistake. The physical, just because the physical abuse isn't taking place at the moment doesn't mean that it's still not there. They go through the phases, and the promises that they make, they may be met. Like they're not physically hurting you right now, so you may think that the abuser was serious when they said that they'll never do it again, but it's just part of the cycle. And the victim may hope, the victim gets that false hope that the abuse is over, and the abuser may give gifts to the victim as acts of forgiveness to keep the victim on the thought process that they're not going to do this again. These phases, each stage lasts a different amount of time. There's no specific time for each phase can go. It can start from a few hours to a few years, to a year to complete it. It depends. The makeup phase, eventually the makeup phase and the calm phase fade away. Like they fade out, so you're only into the incident phase and the tension building phase. The other two, and the makeup phase, the other two phases, last two, they tend to just drop off. And you get to just remember that not all of the domestic violence scenarios go through this cycle. They might just pick and choose what they go through. And the cycle, it can happen hundreds of times in a domestic violence, in a relationship, in a violent relationship. It doesn't necessarily just happen one time, two times. It happens over and over in